New alpha with new weapon. Specifically, a weapon that people have been wanting for some time now, ever since it appeared all the way back in a trailer for the game, which I never saw because I do not watch trailers. As always. Oh, yes. And whenever doing any sort of alphas, things kind of reset quite a bit. So, I'm going to have to go through some of these tutorial messages here. Panchaku. You can see it right there. Seems to be similar to the pan. Yep. Okay. Wow. Does damage when enemies are facing you. I think it does a little bit less base damage, but it seems to also be faster and have a completely different moveset. So that's going to be interesting just by itself. Aside from that, there's also a lot of changes now to some of these weapons, perhaps including Gilded Yumi. Wow, why did I have trouble saying that phrase? I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it in the backpack and we'll try to get some use out of it at some point in time. I can only hope that they have maybe improved it a little bit. After all, it is Gilded Yumi. Look, do I need to say anything else? Okay. Well, seems pretty good so far. Yeah, I want to say that it is a little bit faster than the normal pan, but I'll have to get a better feel for it over the course of the run. As always with any one of the new weapons, it is sort of hard to judge them in the first area because that is where all of the enemies are the easiest. And regardless of what you're using, you usually have a decently easy time. Even Gilded Yumi, I mean, think about the first area for that. That is like, you can destroy enemies trivially, even with some of the worst weapons. Okay, one of the other things that I remember seeing in the update text was that now legendary version of the toothpick at the very least can have the ability to instantly be reformed after breaking, which may result in me trying out another run with that. I don't know, toothpick is an interesting item, but long charge up time combined with pretty unimpressive damage for the amount of work you have to use with it. It's sort of like Serenade in that way, where as much as I do like the idea of Serenade, it never feels like it does enough damage to really be worthwhile. But when you get a good legendary version of it, oh man. Sure, plus 40% damage. Even though this is no longer a survival scaling item, it still gets some of those good. There we are. Some of those good, not mutations, modifiers on them. Forgetting words right now. After all, can just make it that many more opportunities to get some good synergies with a new weapon. Usually, when we're talking about new weapons, things require a little bit of time in the oven to really be particularly good, or it's going to be extremely overpowered right from the very start. I mean, that's always a possibility. Something like temporal distortion, of course. We all so fondly remember. Okay, I think it might even have like a little bit more range than the usual pan. I don't know. I really cannot tell. First area and all that. You know how it is. Some legendary weapons have cool, unique affixes. What are the other ones? Because I only saw the toothpick one. That was the one I of course zeroed in on because, well, you know, it's the toothpick. I'd like to see it get a little bit better. It has one of the highest base damages, I think, of any weapon in the entire game, provided that you get the critical. If you don't get the critical, then it's kind of garbo. You know how that is. There's a new update. Yep, that's right. We got a new alpha. It's another one of those alphas where it's a lot of very basic rebalancing type of stuff. But we do also have a new weapon in the form of the Panchaku, which I never saw the trailer for it because I don't watch trailers. How many times do I need to tell you all that I don't watch trailers? I swear, it's every single one of these streams. Certainly ever since Silksong came out. But I am assured that it was definitely a weapon that appeared in that. Wear cards? I'm working so... Look, we can go and do like a Casey's mod or something after this. But if you're wondering where Inscryption is, Yo, I gotta go, like, remember how to use CMake so that I can decompile the files for... Nice. So I can decompile the files for Inscryption so that I can go and look at not only just all of the floor textures, but also all of the floor texture mapping to be able to solve some of this stuff. Do you understand why it's taking a little while here? Is there any easier way to look at... Is there any easier way to look at, how do I even describe this? To extract assets from a Unity game. Because just give up? No, absolutely not. I did it with the other 3 games in the series, really, and 2 more that have yet to go. Hey, do you want the Inscryption Alpha? We can do a video on the Inscryption. I'll take that on the Inscryption Alpha, because that is part of the ARG. And then a pre-alpha for a failed Kickstarter that Daniel Mullins had, which is also going to get its own video. It's like you can get those instead while I'm working on everything else. I can also just go, like, play the stuff that I've already done right now. All of the regular secrets are done. That's all finished. Okay, what else we got going on here? Take, like, a nice... What do I have? Burning target? You know what? Well, I do also have burning stuff. Yeah, you know what? Let's take this. Get some good synergy on here. Okay. Is that... Yes, it is stuff that you... Well, no, it's not stuff that you need to do to progress. You can also just go look it up online. I have a Google Docs that just outlines the entire ARG if I just wanted to type in the codes. But that's not what this series is about, you understand. It's not about just seeing the content. It's about going through the entire thing to be able to see it as... To see it as you would normally have to do it if people had not solved it already. Okay. One more. Anyway, new stuff in Dead Cells? Yeah, we got a new weapon here. The Pan Chaku, which works a lot like the regular Vorpan, except it has a completely new move set. Does still get... You got anything going on here? Whoa! Oh, now that is a saucy boy sort of affix on there. And I guess, yeah, that is another one of the... I love that idea. I'm actually really happy to see that. Even though it is something, of course, just very simple. That is a cool thing, that it's more than just combat. I always like that idea. I said that before with, like, the Greed Shield. The idea that you have weapons that do more than just, it makes it hurt enemy more. So even though I'm probably not going to end up using that too much, it is still worth at least getting a little bit of use out of. Panchucks, right? Reference to the nuclear power fighter sword chucks. No, it actually appeared in one of the trailers, which I never watched. So, but I'm assured that it definitely appeared in there. Okay. Now then, you can split secrets into 2 videos, or you can post what you already have. Yeah, but it's actually only like a half hour for non-ARG secrets in. Maybe like a little bit longer if I include the mycologist optional super boss, but that's really something that I'm doing specifically for the ARG things. Okay. But yeah, if anybody knows of any good way to extract assets from a Unity game, I'm all ears, because you do have to do that. It is not when you're supposed to look at the floor textures. It is not one of those things where you can look at them in game. That is not possible. It is literally not possible, because some of them are on the floor mapping, texture mapping, which is different, and that's to show like all the bumps and ridges on texture. Look, we're gonna get a very big sort of lesson in game development here. soon enough. Panchaku don't actually do the thing where they hit away. Wait, was that a thing that they could do, or was that just a thing that I wanted them to do? where they hit away bombs. I'm thinking about it right now. I think that was something that I talked about that they should be able to do, but I don't think that was ever actually in the game. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Because they're like big flat surface. That's how it works in Rogue Legacy 2. Anyway. Look, not every game can be like Rogue Legacy 2, I know. Okay. Oh, no, I have no thoughts on that. Come on now. I think with legendaries they still have low damage. They don't do the dual scaling thing? But that's like... I mean, yeah, I guess legendaries were like extremely powerful with that, but still. Really. Was it Rogue Legacy 2? Darkest Dungeon 2, but Rogue Legacy 2? Yes. I mean, it was both. We all remember the chef class in Darkest Dungeon 2. Speaking of Inscryption, if you actually looked at some of the files, I did save all of the Rogue Legacy 2 stuff as Darkest Dungeon 2. Because I save things as jokes for myself, I guess. Man, a lot of flying enemies. Kind of make me panic here a little bit. Could have used the shovel for that. I forgot. Have you enjoyed the story of Inscryption? Of course. If we're doing like a little bit of... There we go. If we're doing like a little bit of Daniel Mullins games in review, I still think my favorite is probably the Hex. I really like the Hex, and I think that it all came together in a really interesting way. Weird. Inscryption is great, but the preference is still there, you know? All right. Still an interesting ending. Still found that ending pretty interesting. Very melancholic. Which is not something, again, that you would expect too much of. If you have been watching those, it is a good series. Those are, and let me tell you, those are some real indie games. Which is maybe something I like about them more than anything else. Like, they are... Like Inscryption is like 90% made of prefab, stuff bought from asset stores, for God's sake. And of course, that's just not even talking about all just the weird stuff that happens in it that you're not really going to be getting in any sort of like larger game. A lot of fun. Anyway, have you done any progress for Casey's mod? Yes, I've done a lot of progress. I'm at like challenge level plus 10 or something right now. I've been working on that because, I assume that everybody doesn't want me to do like 40 runs of that on stream. Maybe you do. I don't know. Yeah, especially after P03 coming up with an excuse plot on the spot. Yes. Why you call Dr. Infernal Firebird? It is a reference to a podcast where when trying to come up with a cool fake name, the host of the podcast said, well, why wouldn't you call yourself something cool like Dr. Inferno Firebirds? And I'm like, I'm going to steal that. And then I did. My initial thought was that I wanted to go with because the idea that I was thinking when I originally came up with a dumb name for the channel was that I wanted to be something laughably stupid. Let's just sell this right now. If it's going to be lower damage and everything. What was the podcast? I don't want people judging me for my podcast choices. Also, I haven't listened to them in a while. I don't know if it's still good. So, I don't like this. Yeah, I do not like this at all. Okay. Okay. At least I got the heals. We'll see how that works. Hoi. What's the thing I always say? If you're looking for it, 36 minutes into the prom night episode. Anyway. try and finish this up ASAP before I die. Hey. They added nunchucks? Yep, that is the impetus for this stream. We got the Panchaku now. Okay, they didn't even notice me. Cool stuff. How are you? Guys, I'm right here. Guys, I'm right here. What is wrong with you? Okay, anyway. Usually they have a little bit better situational awareness. As good a situational awareness as like you need to have for this game. Okay, I get out of here. Whew. Okay. I blanked out when bullshit figure. I was talking about the origin of the name. I feel like that's a completely reasonable sort of topic, subject, whatever. For this, okay. Anyway. And I use a cherry tree as an avatar because I think they look pretty. There's actually very little explanation behind that one. I guess I was studying Japanese a lot at the time. That's about it, though. That's all you get. Oh yeah. I was saying, when I was originally starting the channel, I wanted to have a name that was just laughably stupid as soon as you saw it. And my initial idea was to go for something like if you saw the Space Mutiny episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000, they called the main character kind of a generic beefcake protagonist guy, like a bunch of names like Big McLarge Huge and Bulk Slab Head and stuff like that. But eventually I decided, no, that's too obvious of a reference. I'm instead going to go for this is one singular throwaway gag in a podcast I like. And that's how you do it. Okay. Well, that's how I do it. You can do whatever you want. Okay. Yes, Shinzo Abe was assassinated recently. What the fuck? What a weird thing. Anyway. Okay. Oh, no, you do actually hit away bombs with this. Oh. So I wasn't actually wrong about that. It doesn't say anything about doing that, but nor does it seem to work on every oh, I thought the game was about to crash. Nor does it work on every bomb. Let's do pretty good, though. Burn when they die. Nothing. Well, maybe slow down. I mean, what do I have right now? Burning target? Yeah, and that's, like, not even... Yeah, give it to me. You'll probably want to... Is this recorded? I believe I've heard the name origin story for the 5th time. You get it, like, once every 6 months. I feel like I get... Like, yes, I did talk about that. What? When I was doing the torch run for season 1 of Dead Cells? Anyway. All right. It's only the windmill. Okay. Does this replace Vorpan? Nope. Vorpan is still in the game. Still out there. Still doing stuff. This is just an alternate new version of it. All right. So... Season 1? Yeah, that was back pre-Brutal update. So 2007 to late 2008. That's Season 1, baby. This is currently Season 4. 2 and 3 never actually got properly finished, but Season 4 is the definitive one. Things are actually set up in a dumb way on the channel if you don't know this. Okay. Well, go get the food at least, I think. How long have you been doing videos? June 2017 was when I started the channel. Shortly after Dead Cells came out, but before it had any updates. It came out in early access, but before it had any updates. June 5th, 2017. Yep. So we missed yet again the channel anniversary, whatever. In case you were wondering about that. Hey, it took me like 3 years to even get more than 100 subscribers. Don't keep that in mind. Also, oh yeah, no. Everybody remembers the classic 2017 series like Hyper Light Drifter and Brain Lord, right? Oh, we all want to go back to those times. And Purple. Actually, I really like Purple. Purple's a great game. I gotta go finish up the Golden Tower too. As I'm talking about that. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna re-roll away from the thing where I'm going to die. Take that instead. And then... No, you. Okay. What was the morass exit? I don't know. Or debug cells. That was after I finished the first season, and I was just like, well, I gotta do something else now. Let's play through Dead Cells, but in debug mode? Hi. Last time I was here, I was doing shots and talking about furry. Yeah, that's normal. I do that basically every other stream these days. Talking about furry, not shots. I mean, it's you know, what's the theme gonna be for this episode? Am I gonna be your widow subby wubby baby boy? Is that it, chat? Are you gonna dom me? or what? Are we gonna talk about Vor again? Oh, I'm sure there's so many different cursed stuff that make me reconsider actually putting this sort of thing up on YouTube soon enough. Pick your hotness cost today's mandatory fire drill, not the fact that I'm more than 69,000. Nice. Degrees 1. Now it's close. Started watching Doc's content, and by watching I mean leaving in the background while I sleep. That is standard YouTube video operating procedure. Okay. I'm actually gonna do this just to make sure that I'm not about to die here. Really trying not to use all of my potion charges. What's Vor? Erotic eating of other people. Not piecemeal, but whole. So I mean, I'm talking like a. Did you ever hear the story of Jonah and the whale? And you're like, hey, there's something going on with that. All right. You enjoy the bowl of chili after the stream? Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I finished up the chili. I had sour cream, a little bit of cheese. Had some of like the Frito stuff on there. You know, it's just like fried corn chips. If you don't know, I don't know how much of an American thing Fritos are. I suppose they might be. Oh, forget about that then. As long as actual like. You know, preparing as food stuff is more Guro. That's that sort of Vor. Like, the Vor I'm talking about, and when people talk about Vor, they're more talking about like, hey, what if you, hey, you know, you ever heard the phrase being inside of a person? Well, what if you were all the way in, right? It's like getting a hug on all sides, baby. This is, I assume, how people who are into Vor talk about it. Can you make orange rhyme with banana? Since when is that part of my expertise? Yes, the Doctor in front of Firebird, master of trying to force words into rhyming in specific ways. I guess I would compare myself to Dr. Dre before, but that's because he's a cardiologist. Serenade, but you know, kind of overwrites the run. And then, you know, I got the Boys X, might as well use it here. Does good range damage and everything after all. You also get time is money going on here too. Okay. Pyrotechnics, as always, a great. As always, a great item, but not as good as this. You think due to the topics of the stream, the FBI, unless it's the federal booty investigators, I can't imagine that anything I'm doing is illegal. Doc, you've lost all privileges of shaming other fetishes. At what point in time was I shaming anything? See, and this is the sort of thing that makes these videos unwatchable. What is this phrase that you are typing out in chat right now? Do not understand. Sure, you assume. Do you really... Okay, come on, dog. Do you really think that I'm a part of any sort of community or just somebody that watches from the outside? Like that one Onion political cartoon with the sickos looking in through the window? Because that's what I look like. Of course. Haha, yes. Well, the crying Statue of Liberty stands in the background for the entirety of these streams. Every one of these streams has a crying Statue of Liberty in the background. I commissioned the statue myself, and I'm very proud of it. I think the artist did great work. At least I'm one-shotting everything. Sonic penis fingers, got it. Why do you not want these videos to go up on YouTube? I don't understand, chat. What do you get out of this? What's your angle? I'm gonna be a little bit cautious here. Oh, good. That'll work. So voyeur, I mean, I don't get sexual pleasure out of watching that. I'm saying that I do not participate in any sort of community. I don't go to the box social that furries hold every year. The furry ice cream social. You know the one. You probably all got invitations too. Yeah. Nothing. Well, poison heals you, but I'm not going to have any good opportunity to use that around here now, am I? It's like, as much as I would love to go, and from what I understand, they got like all the good... They got like all the good toppings at the furry ice cream social. This is terrible. They got like the cheesecake cubes. They got like cookie dough bites. They got magic shell, of course. And it's actual ice cream. It's not just, you know, like super cheap Breyers gallon of ice cream that is so hard that you will break the spoon trying to even get it out of there. It's the good stuff. Because that's what I always associate with furries, quality. Do you know how much of a fursuit costs? It's like these guys got cash to pay for it. But I'm too shy to actually go in. And like, what if I take too many? What if I take too many of the cheesecake cubes? You know? Are they gonna be okay with that? Probably, but I don't want to try them. I don't even want to try it. I'm very socially awkward. Anyway, how's Dragon's Dogma? I thought we were doing on Epic. Oh yeah, quality of furry porn is top notch. That is true. And it's weird because it seems like totally transcend cultural like barriers and everything. Because I swear to God, I have seen like every oh my God, this might be a problem. Everybody that seems to make it seems to do a good job. Not always, but there is like, I swear that the general level of quality is higher than most other porn. Anyway, reread the question. Should I play Dragon's Dogma? Are we changing it to Dragon's Dogma? Is the question. Because I have never played it before, but I mean, if that's the request, we can do it. Persona 5 Royal has come to PC. Do you want me to restart up the Persona series? Except this time, Persona 5-2 Electric Boogaloo, like Final Fantasy X-2. Except this time, it's all just going to be literally me trying to learn Japanese. Because I've been thinking about doing that. I've been thinking about doing that for a while, and then I just keep not doing it because I'm very afraid of being embarrassed. I'm afraid of people finding out how little I actually know about the Japanese language. But do you want to do that? Do you want to do that, chat? You do. Well, I mean, do you want to do that after this stream, or did you want to do the? Oh, come on. Do you want to do that after this stream, or do you want to do the Casey's mod, or do you want to do both? I guess you can do both. I'm not gonna say we can't. Have you played X2? I heard the story is stupid, but the battle system is good. Yep, that is exactly what I've heard too. They tried to like reignite the whole Yuna and Tidus story with a couple of, you know, original characters do not steal. And then of course there's the entire like Yuna becoming an idol thing, which I guess is not the most unreasonable sort of thing. She doesn't have to save the world anymore. She can let loose. But at the same time, it's like, They got rid of Lulu, of course, in favor of Pain. It sounds like it would be a bumpy ride to actually play the game, you know? Force me to watch an anime? Oh my god. Mushoku Tensei. Got it. I don't know what that is, but I am still working my way currently through Kingdom, because that series is 3,000, because the first series of that is 3,000 episodes long, as we all know. And I have already hit a satisfactory conclusion to the current storyline. And now we're at the part where we find out that Sheen is just really into killing people. Oh man, he is so excited about killing people. It's really, you know, usually when you think about, okay, I'm going to go on a little bit of a Kingdom diversion here for a second. I hope y'all don't mind. Usually when you think about a shonen protagonist, it's like they're fighting like ghosts or demons or super soldiers or something. You don't actually think about them fighting conscripted peasant soldiers. So to see a character who's just like super hyped up about killing random dudes that are using farming equipment as weapons is kind of off-putting, I gotta say. But oh man, he is super ready to kill all of these people. Anyway, okay, that is my diversion. Those random dudes with farm equipment had it coming. Yeah, I mean they're in a war. It's like he has killed people. He has seen people close to him be killed, and he could not be more pumped to kill these random peasants. Anyway, okay. That's look. I'm still working my way through it. You know, because that was only just like previously he was fighting, you know, super assassins or whatever. So it's like, you know, wow, not bad damage. He's fighting like super assassins, so it wasn't as weird. But now that he's just kind of like, now that he is literally on the front lines of a war, it's getting weird. Okay. Pan chucks. Not even sword chucks. By the way, what am I getting for extra damage? Slow down targets, okay. Rooted targets would be the one. Okay. It was announced like last month or so. What? Dude, there's a sequel to Dragon's Dogma? I did not know that either. Wow. Give me that windmill attack. There we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Going a little bit too hard there, but it's working out. I'm more worried about, of course, the general potion thing. I might end up taking Midas blood after this. If you're going to war, what weapon in Dead Cells would you bring? Any one of the turrets. Like any turret. Any and every one of them. And then I would just hide in a corner. And then I would use my terrible, terrible anxiety as an excuse not to actually have to go to war. There. Does that answer your question? What about Leg Hugger? Also probably, I mean, Mushroom Boy would also be a good choice too, but you know. He pushes enemies away. Owl of War, it's in the, yeah, Owl of War would also be good. That is a turret. And as long as I don't get hit, as long as I don't get grazed by a bullet or something, I'd be okay. War Javelin, I mean, the teleportation ability would probably be pretty bussin', but still. You know what I'm saying here. All of those are skills, not weapons. Do they not kill things just as good as any other weapon? Fine, give me the cursed sword. Hey, why not? And that's what we're gonna do. Is that what you want to hear, chat? Ah, that's so annoying. Good. And I should just be able to, snipe him right there. I'm good, good. More damage, too. Why is no one picking Face Flask? Why indeed? Why is nobody picking Face Flask? It's a mystery for all time. Okay. Just stole the concept from 8-Bit Theater of what? Of taking two different weapons and putting them together. What they should have done was they should have stolen it from I can't even remember what it was, but double chainsaws. Put that on a chain. Face Flask still only deal damage to you, and that's it. Yep. Yes, that is exactly what it does. What a weapon. I mean, it is actually pretty good in some ways. Okay. I have my chat on the left. I'm passing my chat on the left-hand side here. Because, I mean, that's my other monitor is on my right, so that brings you that much closer to me, chat. It's me, Dr. Inferno Firebird, your little subby-wubby baby boy. Ah, damn it. And I want to have you very close to me, Master Chat. Anyway. Okay. I'm clipping that? Yeah, go for it. I'm sure that these clips will never come back to haunt me in any way, ever. Oh, boy. Also, just curious, there was a comment up here. I was introducing my GF to furries and other niche fetishes like vor and unbirthing. I mean, unbirthing basically is vor. And whatnot, just tongue-in-cheek, wonder where all the people with anthropomorphic fruit, vegetables. So, chat, is that a thing at all? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Go on E621 and go look up food creature. Food creature. And you will be ashamed of your words and actions. Any other questions? As your doctorate in pornography, I guess. Oh God, that's actually amazing. You say this like it's something unexpected. Anyway, give me some health here. What an absolutely cursed episode. I'm still going to put it up on YouTube. I'm sorry, everybody on YouTube who expects better out of me. Frankly, I don't know why you do that anymore. Anyway. Doc, you've seen the Trash Taste podcast with the author of Metamorphosis? Shindle? Yeah, that sounds about... Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, okay. No, I have not seen it. I've only ever actually watched one episode of that podcast, and that was the one where they talked about hentai. Of course. Anyway. Yeah, they had on Franz Kafka. It's just like, everybody keeps asking me about Metamorphosis. Did nobody read The Trial? And I'm like, I love the nihilistic, the sort of structure of it. But, you know, Metamorphosis, of course, is more, speaks more to a modern audience. He's great. Is he, though? Oh, boy. Anyway. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's like a totally chill dude. And it's just like, yeah, man, that's what I do for work. Like, what do you do for work? Okay, I love The Trial. Yeah, Okay, get me out of here. Before I told... What an incredibly cursed episode. Every one of these episodes. You know, I was actually just thinking about that, where I'm just like, man, why do I keep doing this? And it's because I don't actually think about what I'm saying until I'm actually done with the episode. So there's this whole thing where I'm kind of like going on autopilot, and I don't even consider the fact that I did just talk about vor and unbirthing for 5 minutes there. Well, you can't have birth without unbirthing, right? I don't know. I've never had any sort of sex education. I'm American. See, I don't think about what I'm saying. I just say it. And I'm like, that's probably fine. That'll fly, right? When's the last time you did a normal DC non-stream video? It's been a grip, hasn't it? I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can get some. I want to see if I can go and grab potion charge. No, it's fine. He's unbirthing its vaginal vor. Yes. Anyway, let me get a sip of my coffee here. Stark contrast there between the author of Jujutsu Kaisen and Rito of Healer. One of them draw fan service because the parents read the manga. One of them probably showed it to their parents and got the girl wasn't cute enough. Yeah. It depends on how cool your parents are. As for me, I know my parents are not going to watch this, so they are only too well aware of the whole streaming and video. Like, I tell them about it all the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's still sitting around like about 35,000 subs because I'm doing more passion project sort of stuff with this whole Daniel Mullins things, and they're like and I know they're never gonna watch it, so I can just like put this up on YouTube and it doesn't matter at all. Anyway, hey, thank you Silver Linings by the way for 21 sub, nice. And been more than almost like getting to 2 years there. Jesus. Thanks for the sub. Okay. Hope you're enjoying this terrible, terrible stream. Where do your parents live? I might go Ludovico them. I'm gonna be honest. If they actually heard this, they'd just be like, yeah, that's our son. Look, I'm just happy that he's not like doing any really weird stuff. That's nice, dear. Yeah, pretty much. Doc, what is your house address? Look, if you go back and like listen to all the personal stuff that I've told you, you can probably pinpoint at least exactly where I work. Oh yeah, I haven't actually unlocked the bank yet. That's why it hasn't appeared. I'm just happy he never got into blood orgies. I mean, he's not actually having sex, right? No, not at all. In fact, he's like a total virgin. That's fine. That's fine. And he's making money doing this? Well, not much. You know what? That's fine. The things I do for entertainment. I talk and play video games. but the words have meaning. Words have power. Whoa, words that kill. And they don't kill literally, but they are doing psychic damage to anybody listening to this. Anyway. Frankly, the blood orgies would be preferable to being a streamer. I mean, look, we can deal with him being a gamer, but broadcasting it to everybody, that's the embarrassing thing. Words are cringe, not based. Based on what? Anyway. Magical numbers at the end of your credit card. Oh, yeah. Let me just, 398. I don't actually own a credit card. I only have a debit card. I've never actually had a credit card before. Because I don't want to go through the effort of getting one. What? Hey, you don't know. Maybe my parents would find out about that and they'd be like, wait, that's out there? Whoa, I've been wasting my entire life. That's so much worse than anything else I could have said. Anyway, here's the great thing, though. They're not watching this. Because I'm going to have to put it in quotations. Cursed sword runs. So these aren't swords. Anyway. Start with all Taco Bell locations. I Like, you don't even need to. You don't even need to. In Wisconsin, you can probably, like, there's so many, especially if you're going to, like, Milwaukee or something. Up yours, woke Morless. We'll see who can't zoom. Look, man, I'm just saying, if you never looked at the food creatures section of E621, you don't know. Maybe you'll see this, like, dragon made out of ice cream cones and be like, yo, this is actually kind of doing it for me. Anyway. Yo, I never really thought about the M&Ms in that way, but I guess this makes sense. I mean, we've all seen the commercials with the green M&M. How do I do this to myself? Once again, and as soon as I'm going to end this stream, I'm going to be like, oh no. Well, I haven't put up Dead Cells content in a week, so guess I have to, right? Like, what am I going to do, record a second episode? This one is going pretty well, despite, in spite of all the issues with potion charges. Anyway. Oh, terrible. Anyway, so that's how you stream. Just turn off your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. This is terrible. Anyway, what am I thinking? Your mom and dad chat thought of my no! Oh god, I don't want to think about that at all. I just assumed they found me on a Cabbage Patch, right? In a Cabbage Patch that had been had way too much insecticide put on it, I assume. Like, oh, that explains. Okay. I'm actually using like boys hacks more than probably should. Go eat that eyeball. Yeah. But at the same time, 64, maybe I can even take one more hit. I mean, that's also cutting it a bit close. Rally it up is always... Yeah! Oh, good shot. A Cabbage Patch that had been on fire. And pecked at by crows. And there you go. That's the actual origin of the name. by the mutant crows from this game. That's a reference to the Dead Cells lore, if you haven't been paying attention to it. You watch Avatar? I remember when it was on air. I'd never really watched it myself, though. I saw like a couple episodes here and there, and that's about it. Yeah. And poisoned, but we'll see if I can even make that happen. I don't have any items that would be even remotely close to being good for that. However, as we can see, stats doing good. Anyway, you have the health steal weapon. If I could, I would have thrown it in the backpack, and that would have been that would have been an ideal sort of way to kind of fix this. But I guess I haven't really been trying to get one. Maybe I should make a little bit more of an effort for that. After all, since they've changed the backpack stuff, it is really valuable. A really good way to eke out a lot of healing. With the eyeball, though, I suppose I don't really need anything else, or at least I shouldn't. Fanchaku is a totally different version from the Vorpan. Vorpan still exists in the game, but this does work in a very similar way to it. Criticals on... Nice. Criticals on enemies that are facing you. But... Okay. That spike pit has probably dealt me more damage than anything else in the entire game so far. Congratulations, everybody clap for the spike pit. Okay, get me out of here. Hello, Mr. Fireboy. Hello, we're doing, I mean, just the most cursed stream. Why couldn't I say stream there? Cursed stream. There. Weird tongue placement after saying that. Clap, clap. Come on. All right. I use substances to turn off my inhibitions. I mean, well, here's an easier and cheaper way to do it. In fact, you can make money by doing this. Not much, but you can. Does the curse sword in the backpack still one-shot you? I think so. I don't even know if you can put it in the backpack. I think they might just, like, prevent that like they do with a giant killer. By the way, this is a fun glitch. I always like that. All right. Can't believe how much I've ended up using the... I'll rally it up then. Oh, yeah, really struggling. Hey, thank you, Van Grotas, by the way, for the sub. See? Money. There we go. Good statage, baby. Can we bring up Persona more? I was just talking about maybe doing Persona after the stream, the studying. It's... You know, there is a real chance that Persona Mania, I tried, will overtake the nation. You remember, like, when Dark Souls was released for the PC and it was already popular and then got, like, 1,000 times more popular after that? I could see that happening. Console exclusives going into, like, overall stuff. It is, loading is weird here. At least not crashing, I suppose. Moving today. Unpack like half a flat. Move to half a country. Round 2 next week. Woof. Good luck. I've helped second guy move several times, and I regret it. I'm mad that he made me do that, and his family made fun of me for being sweaty. What a bunch of jerks. This is my story. I hope you enjoyed. Okay, what to do? P5 is also good if you don't pay too much attention to the writing and only enjoy the battle system music. Hey, battle system music, art style. I've said before that even though it's just kind of like a very sort of general political cartoon thing, I think a literal ship of state floating over the destroyed Tokyo is a great piece of imagery. More clever than a lot of stuff that actually happened in the story itself. Fine. Not ideal. Oh, yeah, I also need one more. I hope he repaid you with pizza and beer. He repaid me with wings, but he was insistent about having half of them. Which I'm still mad about. He was insistent that it's just like, well, this is my dinner too. And I'm like, dog, I helped you move. Anyway. With wings and vor. Yes, and then he unhinged his jaw and ate me. And I was like, oh, this is very hot. Quality of life mods can skip all the cutscenes. I mean, you can also just skip all the cutscenes normally, sort of. Look. That's the point that I'm trying to make here is that, oh man, here's the next opportunity for my Persona series to become popular. We had Strikers get released. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Why do I keep hoping for this? Let's do it. Sounds like you two guys are very close IRL. Not for the past 2 years. because of COVID. Anyway. I mean, I still actually have like a bottle of vodka over at his place from 2 years ago. Mario. Oh, man. Spoiler outfits. I thought I turned this off. Anyway. The dry tone of voice when you think something's hot, as people would have reading terms of services. No, it's no wonder you don't do much IRL in the bedroom. I mean, well, you don't know how much I do in the bedroom. It's just not with a second person. And really, I do the most erotic thing, which is sleep, and also watch YouTube videos. A lot of watching of YouTube videos. Erotic YouTube videos, no. I think actually right now, I have like a 10-year-old laptop sitting next to my computer, and what's on there is Raukau playing through Rakugaki Mario and Kingdom, because I've just been watching that before going to bed. Boy, Rakugaki Mario seems super busted, but that's neither here nor there. Ah! The worst. Anyway. Sleeping while listening to erotic hypnosis? I don't, like, here's the thing. my brain, I can't actually like listen to ASMR or whatever while trying to go to sleep because I pay too much attention to it. Like I'm just like, oh man, I gotta listen to this. I can only have white noise at best. And during summer here, I just have a fan on. Oh, then lower the sound? No, but then I just try harder to hear it. Actually, this will be a good way to heal. Thanks, Hammer. Help me out here, actually. Okay. Funny enough. Not the most healing, but hey, can't say that it's like entirely ineffective either. How about you mute the ASMR when you sleep? I shouldn't have even read that. I had to like reboot my mind for a second. What is healing you? I got Frenzy on. So if I have speed buff, I'm getting healed. And hitting all of the ads that the hammer is spawning is what was healing me there. Oh, I usually use that too much. But at the same time, can come through in a pinch, as we can see. Still, though, I wouldn't know if I wouldn't really say that, like, oh man, yeah, these are the big heals, baby. It's just enough to get me by. Yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah, well, let's see how this one goes. Okay. Ha! Yeah. That's what I'm looking to do. Frenzy mutation. Fallen asleep to Death Card Cabin. Death Card Cabin, really? But it has to be minimum volume. Anyway. And... oh! I did... You got me. Oh. Oh, thank you, weird ledge grab invincibility. You and me, we're old buddies, you see. Stick by him, and he sticks by me, and then I kind of forgot that I do need to. Yeah, let me just add. What? Try again. Huh. You know, you can homunculus, yeah, but they're going to explode after a short amount of time, and I wouldn't be able to get it far enough. Spectacular. Yeah. Well. Yep. Anyway, Funchak is interesting. I might have to do a non-cursed episode of this at some point in time.